Hey guys, so today we are actually going to be replacing the clutch cable on my bike because I noticed one day when I came, it was not working. I mean, it works now, but that's only because I have this on there. You can see the end is clearly snapped on there. So, got a new cable. This is the cable I'm going to be using. Got it off Amazon. Alright, so step one is I'm going to take this off. I'm actually going to take this out of here. And here, I'll take it out like this. Now, what I'm going to do is also, I need a flathead will do. Okay, so what I need to do is I also need to take this off. So, let's do that real quick. Let's pull this off. We're going to save this for later. We'll put this on the new one. Now, I don't need to take this spring off, but I'm going to take this smaller spring off that goes on there, and I'm just going to set that down by the screwdriver. And then, so now this cable, you can pull it out if you want. That's what I'm going to do. Now this cable's free. So I'm going to leave that spring on there, and I'm going to pull this cable back. And so now we're going to try and pull this cable all the way through. Alright. So now I'm going to unbox this. So now I'm going to grab my shorter length of cable. For one, I think it's important to see if we also want to make sure that it is long enough, which it is not. That's important. So I'm just going to have to go ahead and use this longer cable, which I don't want to have to do, but I don't think I have much of a choice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cable. Now here, there's two ends on this. There's this end which kind of looks like a cylinder, and then there's this end that just kind of is this other shape. Now we don't want to cut this end. This is the end that goes into our clutch cable. We want to cut this end. Okay. So once we have our cable cut, we want to make sure it's nice and wound, because you don't want it to be all frayed at the end. You want this to go through the new sleeve evenly. So I want to grab this sleeve, and it fits nicely, but I'm just wondering. I like this new cable sheath better. So you know what I'm actually going to do? I'm actually going to replace this old one. It's not that old, but I would just feel better if I did it. So I only have two zip ties holding it in. I don't even have to cut them. So we're going to grab our new cable. So this is the one we cut. You can see we cut the end off it. And we're going to grab our one line. And so before we cut this, we just want to line it up. So match that end. Carry it through. We're just going to cut it like this. Alright, so here's what I've come up with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this old cable, or this new cable. This is the shorter cable. This is the cable that I said I couldn't use. But now that I'm cutting this new sleeve a shorter length, I think I might be able to get away with it. Alright, now here's the fun part. We get to install it. So I'm thinking I'm going to run it through here, and I'm going to run it above all the other cables. So we're going to go ahead, slide that on up. Now what we're going to do is there's a spot down here where you thread your cable through. So I thread the cable through there, pull it tight, and then I'm going to run it up to here, and then it'll be zip tied just like that. So here, we take our spring, we put it through, pull it, You want that to go past. And then you thread this on through. So you can see we have a lot of cable here. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take note of that here, but before, we're not going to cut it yet. And you're going to want to pull it tight like that. Once you got it tight, you can tighten the screw down. So now we have a lot of cable. Obviously, we don't want to deal with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same trick again. So this worked pretty good. You can see this was starting to fray. I held it here, and it kept it pretty good. I was able to give us a nice clean cut like this, which was able to be thread through this new sheath. So what we're going to do is we're going to give this a little bit of room. Let's say, so lock that on right there. And we'll cut right about here. You don't need that to be super tight. And so that's our clutch cable fixed. Now if I put that on too loose, there's two solutions. One, you can pull this, or two, what you can actually do is you can unscrew this. So what you do is you take this, you unscrew it out, and then what that's going to do is that's going to pull the cable. So as I unscrew it, it's going to start to pull the clutch in. So unscrewing this, it's going to pull it in. But I like this. This is kind of where my old one was at. And I think this cable will hold up a little bit better because it's a lot thicker.